This is a flour sifter. You'd pour your flour in the top part here, and then you'd crank the handle. This pushed the flour through a screen inside that you see there. That way, all your good flour would come out the bottom, but lumps or things that might make your baked goods taste bad stayed behind. Do you have one of these in your kitchen? This is a coffee grinder. Coffee was a very popular beverage to have with breakfast, and it still is today. But thankfully, nowadays, you can usually buy your coffee beans already ground. Back then, you had to grind these coffee beans that look like this by hand using one of these. You put your beans in the top, like this. Then you'd use the crank and go all the way around. And as you can see, it takes a lot of muscle. The beans were forced through, and as it crushed them, your coffee grounds would be collected in this little drawer underneath. Can you see a little bit of the coffee in there? Thankfully, nowadays, this process is a lot easier. What do you think this thing is? Have you ever seen anything like it? I'll give you a hint. It's not a cheese grater, although I know it looks like one. This is actually a toaster. See how it has 4 sides and each side has these little grooves? You put a slice of bread on each side and then place this whole thing on top of the hot eye of a stove. And it would toast your bread as the heat came through these little slats. Today, our toasters are a lot nicer because of electricity, and it makes this process a lot easier. But if you go camping, you may notice that a lot of camp toasters look like this. Have you ever used one? This is a washboard, and this helps you do your laundry. Usually this was done outside. Once you filled your tub here with water, you'd soak your clothes, your rags like this. Once they were good and wet, you'd lather some soap on here using ivory, typically for the time period, and then you would just rake them across the grates of the washboard, and this helped get out all the stains and all the dirt. You repeated this with all your clothing, making sure you were getting all the sides. Then you'd wring it out. Once it was good and washed, you put it in the rinse bucket, then hang it up to dry. How would you like to do laundry like this? This is a rolling pin. Some of you may have these in your kitchens today, and they still look a lot like this. These were used to roll out dough. So in the morning, if you wanted to have biscuits, this is what you'd use to roll out your biscuit dough, so they'd be the perfect height. You may also use one of these if you wanted a nice pie for dessert, and it would help roll your crust out nice and thin. Have you ever used a rolling pin before? Do you have something that looks a lot like this in your kitchen today? You probably do. Mixers are still used, except nowadays, thanks to electricity, it takes a lot of the hard work out of it. Back then, you had to do it by hand, just like you had to do the flour sifter. You'd take your crank here, and you can see, it would whisk up whatever was in the bowl underneath. We bet Julia used this probably every morning if she was gonna whip up some scrambled eggs for her guests.